Hey guys, MegamanNG here, and we're back with another another Pokemon Gen 6 Wi-Fi battle. Today, I haven't fought this guy in a while, but this guy has improved greatly. I really do mean it. He has improved greatly. Today, we will be taking on Wingless Foot, aka Gavin80001. I believe it's 3 zeros with a 1. Links in the description. He does a lot of Pokemon giveaways and such. And let's get this show started. I start off with Mienshao. He starts off with a shiny Scrafty. Again, shinies, what gives? And I go right away with a Fake Out. I'm not taking any chances with this. He gets the flinch and he couldn't move. And it turns out I have a pretty funny feeling that this thing is bulky. It has to be bulky, to say the least. I go for a Drain Punch, hoping to dish out as much damage, and he actually survives, and I'm pretty surprised that it did. And he actually goes for a Dragon Dance, which is an egg move. Yeah, an egg move combined with several punch-based attacks can literally bring out the worst in Scrafty. That can make him pretty dangerous. And he decides to go now for his own Drain Punch, and the Drain Punch does a lot of damage. I survive, which is pretty good, but that just gives me a good exception to do another Drain Punch taking him out. And that's that. It was a Drain Fest, ladies and gentlemen, a serious Drain Fest. Although the good thing is that I'm able to heal up pretty quickly. So, I'm happy with that. I have no regrets. However, this team, believe it or not, is going to be one that's going to put my UU team to the test. He now sends out a shiny Slurpuff. It looks like an ice cream or something. It does. And I go for a U-turn because since it's a fairy type, that thing could be pretty dangerous. And if he brings out attacks like Play Rough or Dazzling Gleam, that can seriously put me at a disadvantage. So I decided now to go into my Chansey, and I'm hoping that I could withstand whatever he brings out. He actually uses a Cotton Guard, and Cotton Guard actually boosts its defense +3. Damn! I know that this is one of the few times I've ever seen a move like that before, but it's just rather unexpected. And it goes for the Belly Drum, which cuts its HP in half, but maximizes attack up to +6. I take advantage of it with a Toxic, and personally, that's a good plan. Not to mention, the cut in HP would help weaken him down even further. And I also noticed that it has leftovers, too. Cotton Guard with a Belly Drum, and if it has any physical attacks, that means this Slurpuff is going to be seriously bad news. So it actually goes for a Play Rough, and I survive! Damn, the Play Rough was dangerous, yes, but I'm surprised my Chansey withstood that +6 attack. Though if it didn't, my Chansey would have been screwed greatly. However, I don't think that really makes much of a difference because it's going to go down to the poison damage. Chansey didn't really need to do much either way. Slurpuff goes for another Play Rough, and it takes it down. My ultimate defense is gone, and that's going to end up proving to be very dangerous in the long run. Since Gavin literally has a Pokemon team that's going to literally kick my butt. Although I do get one saving grace, Slurpuff goes down to the poison damage. At least I don't have to deal with that thing in the near future. And now he sends out his Crobat, and it's another shiny. I mean, I've already now seen 3 shinies on this team. And I send in my Frost Rotom, and he goes for the Hypnosis, and he misses. And I go for a Trick, and it's like, I'm playing Trick or Treat, you can take whatever item I got. And it switches items with the target. He obtains a Choice Specs, I got a Focus Sash, which means he's not going to be able to save himself. That's good, because now I can pull a Will-O-Wisp and burn him to death. Yeah, now I can inflict more status ailments. I already poisoned his Slurpuff last battle, like last turn or 2, and now I burned it. So after like 3 attempts, he finally gets the Hypnosis in. However, since he's stuck at it due to Choice Specs, that's not going to really make much difference. He'll just switch out and then switch it back in and then deliver a physical attack like a Brave Bird or Cross Poison. But with the burn, it's not really that much of a threat. So now that it's asleep, I have to do something to get it wake up. He actually makes a switch, and he switches now into his Typhlosion. Okay, and now I see another shiny. I'm like 4 shinies in a row? This guy's damn lucky. I really mean he's pretty damn lucky. Really is. And now I have to make a switch, though I should have just stayed out on the battlefield. But I send in now my Arcanine, hoping to take a fire attack, but he actually instead goes for an extra sensory. And I'm like, what? I really didn't see this coming. That, and he's faster. He has to be Choice Scarf. I take 2 extra sensories, and I'm just going to go in for a Morning Sun just to heal. Though I think this is due to the fact that since he's going to be swamped with extra sensory more than once, it's going to drive me at wit's end. Okay, he actually... Sorry, he goes for another extra sensory, and that hurts. So I, meanwhile, decide to go for a crunch, thinking that enough's enough and I have to do something. However, that ends up turning out to be my mistake, and he goes for one more extra sensory, and it takes down my Arcanine. Yeah, Arcanine has never let me down sometimes, but this is one of the few that he actually did. Though, I don't think it would matter that much. So I now send in my Starmie, and he goes for an extra sensory, which sadly does not work. Since I'm part Psychic, it doesn't do much damage. I go now for a Scald, and the Scald is going to dish out some super effective damage, and it takes down the Typhlosion. He told me after the match that the Typhlosion was Choice Scarf, and I figured as much. And now this is where things get worse. The Mewtwo has returned. Shiny Mewtwo, exerting its pressure. Take a good guess what happens next. That's right, Mewtwo Night Y, and he Mega Evolves it into the Mega Mewtwo Night Y. That thing gave me so much rage last time that this is no different. However, I'm not really complaining per se, because believe it or not, this is actually a pretty good test of how to handle it against the Uber team. He goes for a Thunderbolt, and that takes down my Starmie easily. I go now for my Mienshao, and that won't matter because even though I get a Fake Out, which doesn't do much damage, it won't really make much of the difference since for the rest of the entire battle, he's going to Psy Strike my entire team. Psy Strike is a move that is exclusive to Mewtwo, and that does a crud load of damage. And one by one, all my Pokemon go down to Psy Strike, ending the fight. He did win the battle, though at the same time, I do have to admit that this is more likely a test. I would normally be all pissed off and angry and stuff like that, but not here. This was actually a pretty good test. I was able to survive the Psy Strike thanks to my Roserade's Focus Sash. However, I should have not put Sleep Powder. I should have just went for either a Shadow Ball or a Leaf Storm. That ended up proving out to be my big flaw, and it ended up, well, taking me down, costing me the match. So I do have to admit, this battle was a pretty good test, and now I can actually prove I can actually handle myself just fine. And now I bring out my last Pokemon, Rotom, and it actually takes two Psy Strikes to defeat him. Since I had my Rotom focused to being bulky instead of being all purely offensive, yeah, I need a bit of defense alongside that offense, and it actually did help me. Though I have to admit, it really wasn't much. It doesn't matter though, the battle was pretty good, though the Mega Mewtwo Y sort of got me angry and I lost. Though, my friend told me that Mega Mewtwo Y can be taken down rather easily. I just wasn't thinking straight. Thank you very much for the battle, Gavin. I hope you guys appreciate it. And today's question of the day is, do you feel that Google buying Twitch is a good thing or not? Before I get this out of the way, there was a rumor that YouTube or Google has bought Twitch for $1 billion. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is true, then I think it's going to be bad. And personally, I feel that Google buying Twitch is a bad thing. Why? Because everything that Google touches, it destroys. Why do you think YouTube suffers the worst of it? Take it from me, I've been on YouTube for 7 years, and I haven't even grown even the slightest. And YouTube nowadays focuses on the big people instead of the small, and it's not fair. I could talk about this all day, but I'm not going to. Thanks for the battle, Gavin. Be sure to check out his channel. He does Pokemon Wi-Fi battles, hopefully. And he also does giveaways where he gives away high IV Pokemon. Sometimes they're shiny. And I'm going to show you guys a little something extra at the end of all the shiny Pokemon that I got for my birthday. I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you did, please hit that like button. It does mean a lot to me, and I'll let you guys enjoy seeing the shinies that I've gotten from him. Peace.